Hey, what's up? It's Ben with I'm Not Licensed, and I'm indoors today, but I'm shirtless because I took the dogs for a walk, and it's hot in Central Florida. So, man, I tell you, I did this one a couple days ago, and I didn't post it. I just figured that, given with my life and shit that happens to me, I probably should wait. And I wasn't entirely happy with the video, so I guess it worked out perfectly because some more shit has happened. But anyways, let's get into it, right? So what do we want to talk about today? We want to talk about being overwhelmed, right? And I used to, I guess, make fun of people that would say shit like this, or not necessarily like make fun of them, like, oh, you're a pussy or whatever, but it was like, how, like, how are you overwhelmed? Like, as an adult, like, how does this happen? And then, throughout the years, you start seeing things and you start going through things and things start happening to you and you start thinking to yourself, man, you know, there's just a lot of shit going on, right? And it's just really started to come, kind of like to a head lately. And so here we go. Being overwhelmed, right? What does it mean? Like, it's going to obviously mean something different to everybody. But to me, there's just so much shit going on. And it's not even necessarily like a laundry list of stuff. It's just stuff in general, right? Kind of big stuff, stuff in general and whatnot. So, what happens? What is the main contributor to being overwhelmed? It's personal health, it's relationships, it's finances, it's kids, it's people, it's work, it's coworkers, it's the public, the government, video games, like all of those things can be contributing factors. But me personally, and this is where this is going to differ, right? It's going to be different for you as it is for me. And maybe it is a little bit of the same thing from me to you, right? But the overwhelming thing, right, is, you try to walk this path of being a good person. And you try to do the right thing, and you try to do for as many people as you can throughout the course of your day, week, month, year, whatever. And sometimes you fall short and sometimes you hit home runs. That's perfectly normal, right? Not everybody's going to hit a home run on every swing. I mean, that's because nobody's got 1,000% batting average in baseball. But, I was looking at things and I just started to look and say to myself, holy shit, my kid's coming back from the Middle East in a few weeks, and I've got to get her car fixed, which they put a compressor into the car and drove it for a month, and then it started to make all these weird noises. So then I took it back to them, and wouldn't you fucking know it? Oh, well, we suggested that you do these other things, and now that you didn't do those things, now we're going to really fucking blast you, because even though the compressor for the AC unit was under warranty, this guy said, and this is almost a damn near a quote, he says, I'll put in a new compressor if you let me put in the other parts to go along with it. The condenser and the high pressure valve or low pressure valve or whatever the fuck those things are. I'm not a mechanic. But I was like, wait a second. Just let me get this right. So the compressor, which is bad, is under warranty, 100%. But you want to hold it ransom for the other parts that you want to install into the car, because now you're saying, oh, well, if you don't replace those parts, then they're going to destroy the compressor again, and I can't continue to put new compressors in your car. Isn't that the purpose of a warranty, is to replace parts because they go bad or they're faulty or they're defective or whatever the case is? Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't expect these people to put, a new compressor in the car every month. But I'm like, hold on a second. So that's your solution is I'll warranty the parts that are under warranty, but in order to warranty them, you have to spend another $1,500? So what would have been $2,600 last month has now turned into $3,100 now, because it was $1,600 last month, and that doesn't even include the interest that this hack loan company is going to fuck me for, because that's how those hack companies work. They charge you an astronomical APR, and they baby bird you along because they know you're going to fuck yourself, and then it's the interest that is effective from day one if you don't pay it off within a certain amount of time, right? And they know you're gonna fuck over. They know you're gonna fuck yourself. Why? Because you wouldn't be in that position if you couldn't or didn't or wouldn't, right? Okay. So moving on. So now we've just gone from a $2,600 to a $3,100 bill. Great. Awesome. Right. That doesn't negate the fact that when she comes home, I'm going to be carless. Why? Because I've been driving her car for the last, since she's been deployed, because I didn't have a car because my car took a shit. The last couple of cars took a shit. Yeah. That's awesome. Yep. So credit score is tanking. My settlement check is fucking gone, and it wasn't even like I did fucking anything with it. I didn't do anything for myself. I paid some bills with it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, a good chunk of this money has gone into that car. I mean, I don't even have like a lot of credit card debt, honestly, but it's fucking insane how quickly that once you have something, people are willing to just reach in there and grab it and go, well, I'll take that. You don't need it. You're not worthy. So then there's that, right? So I'm going to drive up to Tennessee. I'm going to give her car back, and then I'm going to fly back to Florida and basically be carless. Fucking awesome. And that's nobody's fault other than my own. I mean, here, okay, so let me just use this as a disclaimer. I know that this is a little bit late in the game, but the disclaimer is none of this shit happens if I don't allow it to happen, right? All of this stuff that's going on is all due to me. I mean, nobody's done it to me. Nobody else racked up my credit card bills. Nobody else made my car take a shit on me, or the last couple of cars take a shit on me. Nobody told me to get married 20 years ago and then to get divorced. Nobody told me to enter into a relationship with a girl that lives 100 miles away and then, employ some people to do my work for me so that I don't have to do it and I can focus on trying to get more work and whatnot, and maybe even try to do some other things to have some other financial stability. Nobody's really done any of that. So this is all my own doing. But you look at life and you think to yourself, you do so much for other people. And I mean, I can't even say so everybody does it, because I mean, let's face it, we know that there's plenty of people that if you ask them for $20, they would tell you to fuck off. So not everybody does it. And it's pretty sad because, I think that we would all be a much better society if you could lean on, other people more and then reciprocate accordingly. I don't expect everybody to go around like mowing your neighbor's lawn every single week and like letting you dig into my wallet on a monthly basis so that you can, make payments that you can't make or not making or whatever the case is. But, when your fellow man is down, I think that it's, kind of noble as a society to help them. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think that there's enough of us out there that do. And unfortunately, most of the time, the ones that can't are the ones that do. Listen to that again. The ones that can't are usually the ones that do. The ones that can't are usually people that are like me, that don't really have the means but figure out a way to make it happen so that I can help you. And then, when I'm down on the ground and I'm getting kicked and I'm like, hey, you know what, I could use a hand here, and people are like, kind of on your own. Fucking sucks, you know. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have, a will to lean back on, a parent that died that left me a bunch of money. I haven't been in the same company for 20 plus years. I don't have a retirement. I don't have a savings. I don't have a credit card portfolio. I don't have, jack shit, right? Let's face it. I got an apartment. That's it. That, thank God, I renegotiated with my roommate so that I can have a much lower rate because I'm hardly ever there. So rather than him raking me over the coals for a full month's rent when I'm really only there maybe a week a month, which is pretty nice. That's pretty awesome. And I don't have to pay any more utilities because the guy was fucking running the air conditioner at 68 degrees. And I was like, bro, the thing's on all fucking day long. So I can only imagine what the power bill is. It's like, why do you need the AC on that low? And Jesus Christ. It's not like it's 1,000 degrees outside. We live on the surface of the sun. So that's a plus. It's just frustrating, when you start having, you also start getting older. So you start having medical issues. You start having, whether they're guy problems, girl problems, or just medical issues in general. You start to think to yourself, well, how do I get this stuff fixed if I don't have a way to get it fixed? How can I afford to enter into a financial agreement with, say, a medical company to get some medical procedure if I don't really truly have the means to pay it back? It sounds great. You're self-employed and you make a decent amount of money. But if you start to think about and you start to look at your monthly expenses and everything, and when I say everything, it's like every fucking thing under the sun nowadays is like $200 or more a month. It's gone are the days of having a $50 cell phone bill or a $50 beeper payment a month. Right now, your cell phone bill is 200. Mine is $225. For me, my mom, my daughter. It's like, that's insane. So that's $225. And then you have car insurance, and then you have rent, and then, I give my girlfriend money to stay here, which, I guess that's a grace thing. She brought it up and she's like, hey, listen, if you can't give me any money, then that's fine. But I was like, I would kind of feel like an asshole if I didn't, right? You feed me. It's not like I use a whole ton of utilities outside of what already goes on here. So, frankly, the only true expense is my eating habits, which are not expensive at all. I'm sure of it. I definitely don't believe that I eat, consume, and or take up as much money in food and utilities as I give. So that's but what do you do? Like, if you discuss something with somebody but they don't give you a number and you just kind of pull a number out of your ass and you're just like, I don't know if this is enough. Maybe it's enough, maybe it's not, maybe it's too much. I don't know. I'm obviously very thankful for the fact that she lets me stay here, which, it wouldn't make a difference. I would go home, I would still pay rent at home. it's just nice to, have somebody to be here for and or to come home to. And, it's after being married for 18 years and then being divorced for 3 or 4 years, and not really going through the whole dating scene because the dating scene is fucking atrocious. It's really nice to have somebody that you can talk to and be with because, I like to talk to people. Selective people, not everybody, that's for sure. But, that's, it becomes overwhelming. That becomes overwhelming. The fact that the kid's coming back from overseas, she'll be back in October. It's overwhelming because the plan was to get a tattoo in honor of her as a surprise for when she comes home. Now we're talking, that's probably $300 or $400 or $500 that may or may not happen. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do it because, I just, you just try to find a way to make it all happen. And there's never enough hours in the day. There's never enough dollars in the bank account. There's never enough time on the clock. When it comes time to be a boyfriend, be a father, be a friend, have your own personal time, it's frustrating because it's overwhelming. And if you don't get a chance to go take some time away for yourself, my plan was I was going to get the settlement and I was going to take her parasailing and I was going to go offshore fishing. A client of mine had said I could borrow his boat and I would obviously just put the fuel in there. But I was thinking, that's probably at least a $500 bill, $750 in fuel, triple 300s. Actually, it's a 35, so it's probably triple 400s. I don't remember off the top of my head which ones they are, but anyways, you're talking $500 to $750 worth of fuel. I could just go jump on like a charter boat or a head boat or whatever, but that's not it. The whole premise behind that going offshore fishing was to get offshore and just be able to just relax and get away from everything, every day there's some form of stress in life, and it's not even just mine. It's like I'm not here to like a boohoo fucking me poor me story. There's plenty of people out there that have it worse than I do. It's probably one of you that's watching this right now and saying to yourself, man, what's this guy fucking complaining about? He's got it fucking pretty easy. It seems like it, sure. And it's all a matter of perspective, sure. My girlfriend just shrugs everything off, I don't know what her financial situation is, but she's not hurting for money. That's for sure. So if she needs something or wants something, she just makes it happen because she's got it available to her. Plenty of my friends and my clients the same way. Like, they might bitch about it, but they've got it, And then the ones that are complaining about not doing anything, I just ask myself, like, how is it that you don't have any time to do anything? How is it that you say, I don't have time. I never have time. I can't make time. It's like, how? You don't work a 9 to 5. You don't work a 440. You might work 4 times a month. And I know your financial situation to a certain extent, so you can't tell me that you're hurting for money. So you've got time and you've got money. You just won't make the time. That is not an excuse. That's your fault. Same thing goes with my girlfriend. She's the same fucking way. She's got tons of PTO and she won't take one day off. Not one. Not one. For nothing. Still goes into work early, trudges through work, takes calls late, even though she gets paid the same, and then always says the same thing. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. It's like, no, you have time. You just choose not to use it. Whether that's a woe is me thing, I don't know. Or maybe it's just that, you feel like you're just, you're the answer guy. You're the solution to all problems. And it's frustrating, I'm sitting here beating up my phone. I'm reaching out to a firm. I'm reaching out to this other hack loan company to try to get some extra money out of them so that I can finance this stupid car repair instead of coming completely out of pocket, because I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to come completely out of pocket. I'm going to drain my bank account. And then tomorrow, some fucking payment's going to come through for some bullshit or something else. And then I'm going to be overdrawn. And then the cycle fucking starts all over again. Right? And then I'm going to be like, how do you fix this? Do I get a fucking 9 to 5? Do I get a 440? Do I just get a part-time job? I mean, it's frustrating because I tend to rebound when things like this happen. Like I'll pick up a prop job or something like that, or I'll pick up a big job or whatever, and I'll be able to get back on track. So, I mean, I do definitely have like peaks and valleys, and it's not like I'm like always scraping the bottom of the barrel, but it's fucking nice to have a little bit of like not leeway, would it be cushion? It'd be nice, It would be really, really nice to just have a nice little cushion, because you watch social media, right? And social media, as I've always said, is a highlight reel. Well, I've always said to myself, I'm looking for the people like me, right? That I can relate to. Like, why can I relate to me? Because I am that guy. I was an alcoholic for a long time. I don't have a big old bank account. I don't have this. I don't have that. I live in my girlfriend's house with her pool and all her shit. Like, so I'm the relatable guy. Because when you watch fucking YouTube videos, what do you have? You got people that live on the beach. They live in a fucking mansion. They live in the mountains. They live, they live in LA. They live here. They live there. They live in this big house. And they've got this big shop in Texas or wherever they're from. They've got all these cars and toys and this and that and the other thing. And then they're over on YouTube like, doing dumbass shit. And you're like, what? We don't relate. Like, how is this a highlight reel? This is your highlight reel? So you're like, well, okay, I don't relate to you. Me and you're not going to call me to go golfing. You're not going to send me a message through YouTube and say, hey, man, saw your video. Sounds like you're kind of, a little overwhelmed, if you will. And why don't I go ahead and send you out to, wherever, Missouri, I'll fly out to Missouri, bring your golf clubs. We'll go golfing, we'll do some skeet shooting or whatever the case is, and just let you kind of get, just get away. Sounds cool. But those people don't exist. They don't exist for the regular guy. Same thing goes for the girls, right? You ever look through someone's Snapchat? You ever look through someone's Instagram? They're always the same things. If you look at girls, their pictures are always the same. Head's always cocked in the same direction. Always is some sort of like weird look or whatever. But it's the same picture over and over and over and over and over again. There is no diversity, right? So here on this one, okay, on my channel, yeah, there's not a lot of diversity either, right? It's just my ugly mug speaking into the camera and bitching and moaning about whatever the topic of the time is. Okay, fair enough. But it's also something that you can look at and relate to, right? So when you look at those people's profiles, you think, well, I can't relate to that person. So why the fuck would I even follow them? Why would I message them? Why would I interact with them? It doesn't make any sense because you're not going to relate to them. They're not going to message you back. And if they do, it's a bot. I learned a lot of shit over the years of like interacting with different accounts and going, that's kind of a canned response. Find out that they're bots. Oh yeah. You can buy bot accounts and you can buy followers and you can buy this and you can buy that. And it's like, so if I bought a bunch of followers, so let's just say, you need 1,000 followers to be monetized on YouTube, right? I go buy 1,000 followers, but then you also need time viewed. So where do you get the time viewed if you bought your followers and your followers don't exist? So that goes to show you that people usually only follow accounts that have a lot of followers. Why? Because they figure, oh, well, there's a million followers and they must have great content. And maybe they do. Maybe it's just dumb and people just want to like brain deadening videos, whatever the case is. But, you know, when you also get down to brass tacks and you say to yourself, I don't mesh with this person. We don't align. So why do I continue to do this? Right? So me being overwhelmed as just a regular old blue collar guy probably relate to, I would have to say, at least a lot of people. And I would say like 90% of the people that would ever find this video. But that's not true because there's a lot of people on YouTube that are very successful that follow smaller channels and or reach out to smaller channels or that refer smaller channels or whatever the case. So, you know, it's not to say that, you know, those bigger people, if you will, don't reach out to those smaller accounts. I mean, hell, the whole reason why this whole thing started, right, was what's his name, Kirky, from over in the UK. You know, he was like, yeah, I'm down on my luck. And so I figured I would just start a YouTube channel. And then he like blew up overnight. And then he was like on someone else's bigger page. And they were like, oh, yeah, you should listen to this guy. And I was like listening to the guy. And he's like does a lot of videos in his vehicle and whatnot. And he sounds like just a normal guy, married, kid, and got a working job or a couple of jobs or whatever. And the guy's just trying to make it over in the UK. And I was like, man, I can relate to that guy. And then I started thinking to myself, well, if he just finally got down and said, I'm just going to do this. Well, I said, well, fuck, why can't I? I watched Gary Vee, right? Gary Vee's probably a multimillionaire. He's that guy. If you ever see him on any of the socials, he says, I don't give a fuck. He's like, I don't care what people think. I don't care anything about that. You know, I'm going to do what I want to do for myself and my family, and that's it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do to make myself happy. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Sounds great. I mean, obviously, it always sounds great, but it also sounds great from somebody that's got the means to kind of do it. You know, if you had the means to just be able to get up, and I mean, I'm sure that he's been grinding for a lot of years because according to his story, and he watches YouTube and Snapchats or not Snapchat, sorry, Instagram, he's got a lot of videos of him as a younger guy, like building his legacy. And so kudos to him. I watch all of his videos and I even do that little star thing on the favorite his page just because I'm like, well, when he posts stuff on Instagram, like I really want to see it and I really want to see it. It's very motivational. You know, you come on my page and you're like, man, this guy's fucking miserable. A lot of days, sure. You go on somebody like his page and you're like, fuck, it'd be nice to be that guy. You know, it's two guys that chose different paths, that went different directions and had different outcomes. That are still working in the same direction to try to be better versions of what they already are. Sometimes you just get luckier than others, you know. I don't really know how else to put it. But I'll tell you right now, being overwhelmed is a bitch. It fucking sucks. It feels like you're the lowest of low class. You can't seem to get ahead because every time you get ahead, somebody just pushes your head underwater. You feel like like your partner looks differently at you, like maybe like as a failure. You know, like why am I with this person? They've always got problems, and it's like. It's not like I just sit here on a daily basis and like, oh, poor me, oh, Eeyore thing. Yeah, I don't have money for this, and I don't have money for that. Because most days I do. But it's like a relationship, right? Life is just like a relationship with yourself. When life is good, it's really good. When life is bad, it fucking sucks. Huge difference, right? One swings one direction, one swings way the other. And that's unfortunate because it's a lot like a relationship, right? When you're in a relationship at the beginning, everything's great. Oh yeah, this is great. Oh, I can see myself for this person for the rest of my life. Oh yeah, she's great. He's great. Oh, they're wonderful. They do this, that, the other thing. And then as time goes by and things start to slip, and then you start to think to yourself, God, what am I doing here? And then you have like an argument and you're like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, and then you have a couple of arguments and then you're like, this fucking relationship sucks. And then the next day, they wake up, you wake up, planets are aligned, you make out, maybe you have some morning sex or whatever, and then all of a sudden, all is good. And then you're like, just yesterday I was thinking about packing my car and leaving. And now today I'm like, I might stay around for a little while longer. And then, so that's how life is. Life works just fucking like that. And so that's why today's video, which was a combination of a couple of days ago, is what it is. You know, I'm just overwhelmed with life. And even though it might seem like there's only a few things going on, there's a lot more to it. That obviously I'm at 31 minutes now, and I don't really like to go too far over 30 minutes, as everybody might know. Is that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you don't want to talk about. There's a lot of stuff you don't have time to talk about. You know, you start talking, and you, believe it or not, you find out how quickly 30 minutes passes. And it goes by pretty quick. So maybe I should get licensed, because then I can listen to people talk for a long time and get paid to listen to people talk. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get off of here, and then I'm going to post this like I should have posted the other one. I wasn't really too happy about it. I was outside. I was sitting down. Kind of looked like I had bitch tits. And I wasn't really very happy with the video. I was outside, and the dogs were barking, and I was sweating, and had the fucked up hair. But today I've got an even more homeless look. And now that I've committed to spending another $1,500. Oh, and then I said, hey, well, do you guys do a military discount? The car is for my daughter. They said, oh, yeah, we do 10% on labor. Maximum of $50. $50 fucking dollars. $50. It's $717 worth of labor. Anyways, fuck it, right? Everybody's always going to have their hands in your pockets. Always. So, in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to go shower. I'm going to shave. I'm going to clean up my mess that I made from my brunch. And shave my face. And probably, I don't know. I don't know. Not have a drink. Don't do drugs. Definitely no sex. Since I'm in the house by myself. And anyways. But in the meantime, I hope that anybody that sees this might find some value in it. You know, I'm more than happy to listen to people vent. If you want to vent to me, let's talk about it. You know, you want to talk to me, you can message me. You can message me, and then we can exchange phone numbers. No homo, obviously, but we can exchange phone numbers, and we can talk and stuff. And that's kind of the whole reason why I started this whole thing, was just for that particular reason. I don't think that guys as a whole have enough of a support system. I think that we're all in the same boat in regards to the whole, the machismo thing, and I'm masculine, and I don't need any help, and I just put my head down and, put my foot on the gas and I just go. And it's like, oh yeah? Until when? Until you go home and then you say to yourself, fuck it, I'm done with this. You stick a gun in your mouth and you kill yourself, right? Right. Exactly. So there's a reason why the suicide rate is so high for men, is because there are too many men that think just like that. I'll just keep trudging along. I'll just put it into that bottle, tighten the lid down, and put it into the basement of, what's the word? I forgot what the word is off the top of my head. Repression. The basement of repression. Until when? until those bottles fall off of the fucking shelf and break, and then all that repression comes out and bad shit happens. So you're better off to just get it out, and it's easier too, right? Makes you feel better, because I'm just like, it's kind of like you find a way out. Video games, sex, drugs, alcohol, I don't really condone those two, but I mean, hey, everybody's got their vice. Driving, fishing, going outdoors, walking, hiking, working out, all of these things that you can do. But a lot of times you can't do a lot of those things by yourself, because by doing those things by yourself, you're not helping yourself to clear out your mind, because the only thing you're doing is thinking while you're doing those things. So you really want to just spit it out to somebody else, get your unbiased opinion. Maybe you get an opinion out of it, maybe you don't. And then wash, rinse, repeat. Keep up the good fight. So, in the meantime, as everybody says, like, share, comment, subscribe. Please send money, YouTube, Venmo. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But anyways, no. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll do some hashtags. Hopefully it's enough. I don't really know. I did notice that there was a couple of extra views on some videos through the analytics from, so maybe somebody saw it through the hashtag, which is great. And that's all I'm really looking for. And in the meantime, have yourselves all a great day, and tell someone you love them.